Hello, good evening, and welcome to Questers of Yalpelor, 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 Yalpelor.
Good evening. Welcome to Questions of Yalpelor. Thank you very much, Matt. Questions of Yalpelor is a weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. My name is Itamar. I'm your host and game master, and I've gathered three hilarious improvisers and actors from all over the world to travel through the lands of Yalpelor with me. With us tonight, we have Matt playing Grebble Bumblin Esquire, a quarterling bubblemancer desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. Jada is missing tonight, usually playing Triss, a nebulous summoning who's only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life and Yalpelor with their new friends. And we have Talia playing Achlys Darkmoor, a traveling death knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. These players are here not just to play their characters. I've asked them to invent and flesh out details in the game world, play other characters, segue into unexpected scenes, and all in all, make my job as Game Master more interesting and chaotic than it ought to be. You can also influence the game. You can use your XP to activate commands which will take the game in different directions. You can scroll down below the video to see the instructions. The game system we're using is Macchiato Monsters. It's an old school game in the style of Dungeons and Dragons, and we're using assets and creations by all sorts of awesome fans and artists from all over the web. If you're interested in any of the images and sounds you're seeing on stream, scroll down below the video to see the full list of awesome, creative people and check them out for yourself. And now it is time for a word, well, not from our sponsor tonight, but actually from us, from Figment RP. If you navigate to figmentrp.com right now, you will see our website, which is up on the air.
It sure is.
On the website, you can see some details about the game. You can watch past videos and some clips, and you can click on the Figment Folio page and go to the download page where you can download the first issue of the Figment Folio. It's a PDF, free to download, no need to pay anything, and filled with all kinds of creations that were created here live on stream with the viewers, and later populated the world of Yalpelor, and then edited and rewritten into this beautiful PDF that you can download and then use these things for yourself in your own campaigns. It's, because this game is an improvised, often silly comedy game. Then these, I decided that these monsters, often silly, often creepy and weird. I think these are the two
That
descriptors.
does not sound anything like us.
Two descriptors I would use
Yeah,
to
one of
describe.
us is silly, one of us is creepy, and one of us is weird.
That's right, exactly. So I decided the monsters and other things, quests, NPCs, treasures that we populate the world with should be written in the same way, an improvised adventure by all of us together. So that's what's in there in Figment Folio. So go to figmentrp.com and check it out for yourself right now. There's many things there that these wonderful players are not allowed to read and see.
Yes!
Yeah,
They're spoilers.
we're banned from.
There are things that still haven't happened in the game.
I downloaded it, and I only read Paddy on the Lake section.
Yes.
I wasn't allowed to read anything else.
That's the only one. That's the only chapter I allowed them to read. So basically, that is the announcement for today, which is the most important thing. More announcements coming. Chat is also kind of guessing already what the next things are going to happen, unsurprisingly. I think we're going to be ready to start the game in just a second. So we are today at the third session of our Heisters of Yalpelor. Our heist
Which
chapter,
we thought would be one session.
Yeah.
which I said it's gonna be like maybe one, maybe two.
Yeah.
We're now up to the third one, and we're gonna
I
have.
wasn't expecting quite so many hijinks.
That's true. Hijinks and also antics. That's many more than I thought would happen. The third. At the end of the previous episode.
Oh, yes, what happened last time?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
The party. Oh, that's right. Actually, we were off for a week, so it's been 2 weeks, which feels like eternity.
Yep.
So the party split. The party split, unfortunately, because in this
That's not
heist.
part of the plan.
Actually, yeah, it was planned for the party to split, and it's because Triss character whose player is missing today was the what was the name? Oh shit, the Grease man.
They were sneaking around trying to get back Dirt's dust.
Yes.
And we were keeping Chesterling busy.
That's right. So you met Chesterling in his study, and then you went up to talk to him in private, while Lohi, the little dragonling, who was painted black with soot, was on your shoulder, Achlys, and you told Chesterling that it was actually Triss, while Triss was imitating.
And he believed us.
He believed you. Yes, he did believe that completely. Back in the room, you actually don't know what happened, and I'm not going to bother describing it, even though it was on screen and everyone saw it and heard what was happening. Triss found some surprising things. Some of them were expected, some were surprising, some had to do with other NPCs in the game, and eventually left the room in unforeseen circumstances. And now, and because of some of the mess that happened, Chesterling was alerted and left the observatory where the three of you were talking, and he went down the stairs quite hurriedly.
Yeah. So normally, in a situation where the person we're supposed to be distracting has figured out something's up and has run off, I think normally we would have gone after him and tried to stall him.
Yes.
But I yes.
So you were going through this palace all throughout this mission, and since earlier today, this morning, with a chaosometer of 12 out of 13, which meant that there was a constant buzz of chaos around you. This is higher than the chaosometer has ever been. And during the adventure, the heist, I think, was it you, Grebble, I think, used
it was mostly Lohi's fault, but it was me.
It was something that Lohi started, but it was you who decided to influence one of the dice rolls with a little dab of chaos, which is all that was needed to bring the chaosometer up to 13. And now that it's up to 13, you are standing in the observatory. It's just the two of you. Lohi is gone. Triss is all the way in the other part of the palace, and Chesterling has just left and ran down the stairs. You are surrounded by Chesterling's tools and measuring devices with which he does divinatory magic, and the buzz of chaos is getting higher and higher in your ears, and you look out through the window of the observatory. There is a big telescope, but also there's open windows outside, and some of them are open. There's something in the sky. It's too small to see right now, but it looks like a little red star.
What?
Oh my god. Okay.
Grebble, just before we ended on the cliffhanger, you said something about you wanting to do something with the ritual that Chesterling started.
Right, so Chesterling was going to do a ritual to cleanse us of all of our chaos,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I thought, oh, it's fine, I can do a crazy roll to take us to 13, because Chesterling will immediately do his chaos ritual, his order ritual, but because of something Triss did that we don't even know about, he's left us without doing the ritual. So I'm trying desperately to figure out how he was going to do the ritual so that I can do it so that we can regain order.
Mm-hmm.
Also, me as Matt, not me as Grebble, I am aware that Grebble is carrying a poem, which, if read aloud, might give us some more order. But I don't think Grebble is thinking about that poem right now. He's thinking entirely about trying to get this ritual up and running.
Okay.
So, despite the fact that I have in my inventory a thing that might save the day, I am instead going to focus on the stuff and see if I can figure out what Chesterling's ritual was going to be.
Okay.
Can I assist with that somehow?
If you... Yeah.
At the very end of the last episode, I was getting you to put the things back on the shelf the way they were before they all fell off.
Okay.
because that was orderly, and you were like, I don't know how these spells work, and I said, do something orderly.
Sure.
You do that, Achlys?
Of course.
Cool. So the shelf can be just reattached. It didn't fly off the nothing was broken. It was in like a little base that's stuck to the wall, that's attached to the wall that the shelf is connected to. Like you can just slide it back in with two little pins that are in two corners of the shelf. So you can just do that. You find it quite easy. But while you're doing that, you're feeling that what you're doing is wrong. You should be picking up the shelf and throwing it at the wall and breaking it apart. You should be stomping on those little measuring devices, the delicate measuring devices on the floor made of metal and crystal. You should breaking them completely to pieces. The chaos in your mind is present like another voice, like another mentality that's not yours, and you're sharing this body that you're in. It's an unpleasant feeling, Achlys. Roll wisdom, please. You do get advantage because you're a Death Knight. Death Knights are very cool usually, so you get advantage on this roll.
Wisdom.
Coolest of the night.
Oh, I'm not that wise. I'm pretty dumb.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, the 11 is not bad, and yeah, the advantage carried you. You got a 9, so you managed to slowly and with great concentration, not at all matching the difficulty of the task at hand. Right, you just need to pick up some instruments and put them on a shelf in an orderly fashion. But you find it very hard. You need to concentrate and will yourself to place each of them on the shelf while the chaos is pulsing in your ears. Grebble, while this is happening,
Yes.
what are you doing?
I'm looking at all of the instruments that Chesterling was standing next to, trying to work out what the exact or the inducing ritual was going to be.
Well, it's prisms, and he has tripods and stands that he puts these little crystal prisms in, and he already placed 3 of them in certain angles, like around the perimeter of the room.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I know that hexagon is a very orderly shape.
Okay.
So I am assuming that there's just needs to be 3 more for order.
Good. So what do you do? Yeah, there's
I wanna
a few
find-
more.
3 more of these prisms and to place them to complete a hexagon.
Yeah. Okay. So you try to complete a hexagon around the room and try to give it some kind of semblance of order, be like a symmetric hexagon, and see if you manage to do that. One of them has to be on top of a table in order to do that, because that point in the room, that point along the wall has a table on it. So you need to take a tripod and like lower it as much as possible for the prism to be on about the same height of all the rest. Roll your intelligence. You take disadvantage because it's not your job in this heist. But you do take advantage, which cancels it out because you are formerly educated.
Okay, yes, I am formally educated, and I know especially magic
Formally?
related.
Yeah.
Formerly.
You're formerly educated. Yes, you were
Formally.
educated once.
Educated with
Formalistically.
formalness.
Yes, formulaically educated. Okay, you got a 4. That's great. So that means that you managed to put it in a symmetric hexagon. Now, please tell me, what kind of ritual are you trying to do? Like, what kind of ritual are you trying to enact while chaos is rising and pulsing in your ears? Soon enough, you won't be able to resist it anymore.
Okay, so I learnt at Maglehampton all sorts of stuff about how you use chaos to create magic. So I'm guessing it's kind of like an anti-magic or like a dispelling type spell.
Okay.
It's an anti-magic spell or a dispelling spell because I use chaos to create magic.
Mm-hmm.
Little bits of it.
Essentially, all magic is using chaos in some
Yes.
way. Yes, it is. What wizards do is they form chaos in little bits each time. Each spell is like a little bit of chaos drawn from somewhere from the environment and used to create a spell. Put in a very specific pattern.
So instead of like drawing chaos in and making it take shape, I'm trying to make chaos dissipate into like back into the tiny little bits that it was before.
All right.
Like a vacuum cleaner, but on blow instead of suck.
While you were pacing the room, thinking about and formulating this plan, you have a glimpse at the window, and the star has grown several times. It's now like a big red circle. It seems like it's burning. There's like flames and sparks, something happening there, as if it's like moving through the sky, but it's still in the same point in the sky, same location. So yeah, you can do something like a big dispel. The problem is what dispel does is it takes a spell which is the pattern and it breaks the pattern, and there's no pattern of spell around you that you can sense or see. No one's casting a spell. No spell effect is happening. It's raw chaos. It's what happens before the spell is cast, and it's way too much of it.
Okay, maybe a new plan.
All right. While Grebble is fidgeting, Achlys,
I have an idea about a new plan.
You're done.
Come back to me.
You're done. Bringing the shelf back up. What do you do?
I look at Grebble. He seems confused, I guess. Magic is not my strong suit. I don't know anything about magic. Just a sec. I'm looking at my character sheet, and I'm so dumb.
Achlys, maybe you can help. What's a really orderly thing to do that you do to like get rid of chaotic creatures and undead and stuff?
Counting is good because there's an order to it, and knitting as well.
Counting and knitting, okay, but we don't want to knit together the elements of chaos. Okay, well, I thank you, I think.
I think we should go find Triss.
Oh, well, don't leave me here. What if Dave the Chaos Knight comes through? I need you around.
You're right, you're so weak.
I've got an idea. Well, thank you. My new idea, because my first idea didn't work. My new idea is maybe we get all the chaos and we shoot it up into the air like a firework, and it just goes and explodes, but kind of separates when it explodes.
Right, let's do that.
What if I try and cast a great big spell, and the spell is to dissipate all the chaos?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna stand in the middle of the hexagon.
All right. What is the plan? What do you do? Standing there is easy.
So I know how a reagent works. What I'm gonna try and do is use all the chaos in the air as a reagent instead of my reagents.
Okay. Use the raw chaos as a reagent for your spell.
Yes.
You're not sure if it's a chaotic act in itself. It might be something that causes more chaos to happen, because it is using magic in an unpredictable manner.
Okay, can I roll on intelligence to find out if this plan is going to make things worse?
Roll intelligence. Yeah, you can roll intelligence to gain more information. Do that.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so you're using chaos as a reagent. It means that you're powering your spell with raw chaos. A reagent is also a kind of magic and magic. The fact that magic is chaos is very cool and nice theory. But when you handle magic, when wizards do it, it's only magic that's been shaped into something very specific. So you harvest reagents from the natural world, from artificial things that are essentially little particles of chaos, but they have been shaped into something very useful for you. Drawing this chaos through you is not gonna... It's not gonna release more chaos into the environment, because we're already on 13. There can be more than that, but it might be dangerous for you, specifically.
So, new plan! But
Can we
obviously that
channel
takes a
the
bit of
chaos
time.
into something?
No, what if we make a great big reagent right now? We
How?
put all this chaos into a great big reagent. We need like another big prism, like the biggest prism in the middle of the 6 other prisms, and we just make a great big chaos reagent.
All right.
Is there another prism around?
Can I search for Prism?
Please.
Search for a prism. Yeah, it's an intelligence roll to search for something.
Should we both do it?
No, only one of you should do it.
You go ahead.
I know what prisms look like.
Yeah,
Go
Is
ahead.
this a prism?
Tell me what you find. You found something useful. What is
yeah.
it?
I find a prism and it's like this big.
Okay. How many sides does it have? What's the shape, the cross section? What's the...
It's 6. It's got 6.
6 sides. Okay, so yeah, so it's a hexagonal...
And then points.
Oh, nice. Cool.
6, yeah, hexagonal with points.
All right, it's solid crystal. It's heavy in your hand. What do you do?
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in the very center of the hexagon circle with each with each side pointing towards one of the other crystals.
Put it how? What do you mean by put it?
I need it to balance somehow. Is there another tripod?
I'll be the tripod.
Okay, yeah, you're very orderly. Can you stand in the middle of this circle?
Stand and not move and not react to anything. I think I can do that.
Okay.
Excellent. Hold it perfectly
Is
still.
this my accent? I don't think this is my accent.
Absolutely
Well-
right there. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, I've never made a reagent before. But I have seen someone do it. It was a module I didn't bother taking. So, yeah, no, I need to do the thing that I saw someone else do
Yes.
to channel this chaos into the crystal.
Yep.
So similar to the way I draw energy to myself, but I'm gonna try and draw all that energy into the crystal.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no, into the 6 outside ones, because step 2 will be then moving it from them into the middle.
So the chaos now is this constant roar in your ears, both of you. It's something that you can barely contain and stay standing up. You look around you. Both of you at the same time notice that in the window the red star is now a big ball of flame. It's like a comet in the sky, a big ball of red flame that's streaking, shooting through the sky. And the reason it didn't look like a comet before, and still doesn't completely look like one now, is it's because it's flying straight towards you. So the tail is hidden behind the body of the comet. You're just seeing the front, a big red ball that's just streaking through, and the red flames are around it. A wreath of flame, like a crown. Yeah, this is gonna be here in about a minute.
Grebble, how big of a bubble can you make?
Not big enough. Well, I could do one around the outside of the observatory, but I think it would go straight through it. Also, spell, bad idea, more chaos.
It's not
Chaotic.
a bubble's not going to contain it. This is chaos coming in. This is a ball of chaos. It's going to explode on this observatory in a minute.
I would like to roll something to find out if Grebble remembers the poem that he got this morning.
I see. Then you're sure you want to roll something? Because as far as I'm concerned, you decide if you remember or not.
Just remember it.
It's quite a chaotic situation, and I'm trying to do this other ritual.
All right. Roll
Grebble,
whatever
what
you
about
want.
the poem?
Okay.
If you remember the poem, Achlys, you can totally tell me.
Sure
I
do.
accept that.
Okay, Achlys remembers the poem. Oh! The, the, the poet gave us it. It was something about order.
Yes, it was.
I reach inside the thing and I pull out. No, it's inside my jacket pocket, and I reach inside my jacket pocket and I pull out this poem, and it's a sonnet.
It's true.
Okay, I'm gonna read this out loud.
Right.
Should I stand next to you? Maybe we read it together. No, I'll just read it. I will put chaos into 14 lines and keep him there, and let him thence escape. If he be lucky, let him twist and ape. Flood, fire, and demon, his adroit designs will strain to nothing in the strict confines of this sweet order, where in pious cage I hold his essence and amorphous rave. Is anything happening?
Read it through.
Okay. Till he with order mingles and combines. Past are the hours, the years of our duress, his arrogance, our awful servitude. I have him. He is nothing more nor less than something simple not yet understood. I shall not even force him to confess or answer. I will only make him good.
You are
I don't
standing.
understand poetry.
You're standing in the middle of the observatory, which is the center of. Oh, nice of you to paste all of that into chat.
It didn't work properly, but I
No?
tried.
Oh. Let me
I'll do it bit by bit.
put it out. Put it up on screen.
Oh, cool.
You are standing in an observatory, which is the center, the heart, the geometric center, but also the magical center of EMAG. And EMAG, while not in the geographic center of Yalpelor, is again the symbolic center. You're standing in a place that's the highest point around, able to observe the entire city and the lands around it. And you suddenly, after you're done reading this poem, you understand completely what Chesterling did. Chesterling actually kind of beat you to it. The plan that he put in place a while ago is exactly what you were trying to do right now. And you notice that the crystals around you, this big prism that Achlys is holding in front of them, right in front, like right next to you, up like in the air, in the exact center of the room. All of it is nothing compared to the observatory itself. The observatory itself is the tip of a huge reagent. And that reagent is all of EMAG. The entire city is all directed towards the center. And you realize that he chose the exact spot where this is built, the height the observatory is built in, the shape of the room, the reason that there's the markings on the walls of the star systems and the big telescope that can be directed to different directions in the sky. It is all exactly to achieve this goal. And you are standing, probably the only wizard in the world outside, except for Chesterling, who knows this, who knows of this reagent, and he's now standing there without Chesterling around, able to use it. And it just so happens that you already built this kind of ritual that you can enact, these prisms around you, this hexagon, which is very stable. It's the most stable shape, right? It can withstand the strongest impact. You look at this fireball, this red fireball in the sky, hurtling towards you. You have just a few seconds left, but you realize that you have the power to cast a mighty spell. And I will take the chaosometer down, the effects of the poem, to 1.
What? The power cast a mighty spell. Yeah, I mean, I guess wind magic is something I know a lot of, and I guess I also. Oh, no, that's clever. Just talking out loud, and then I figured it out. To kind of combine a bunch of all my different types of magic at once. So, to wind and glue and bubble and lighten around the the hurtling comet slash meteor to divert it up into the sky.
Nice.
Wind, glue, bubble, and lighten. So you'll make it into this little fluffy bubble, trapping anything, whatever is inside it, and sending it up into the air just to float away.
Yeah, to like, so its path is coming straight towards us, and I to like divert it up
Yeah.
on the exact opposite angle.
All right. Sure. Let's do that. Let's roll the dice. I want you to roll intelligence to cast this spell. This is not a chaotic act, even though it's a spell you technically don't have. And
Well, I have all the
But
bits.
I was really scared that this is a chaotic act.
yeah, I mean, usually if you're not standing in the middle of the biggest reagent in the world.
Okay.
Roll intelligence. I think you should have disadvantage. Oh, I was just saying while you were rolling. I think you should have disadvantage because
Why?
it's a very difficult task. What this means is that
Can Achlys help me somehow?
help
It's so
how?
Good though.
How does Achlys help?
Well, Achlys is very good at standing still. Maybe Achlys, if I'm like vibrating from all of this energy, maybe
Can I like
Achlys,
hold them still?
yeah, hold my hand steady and like if you just put your arms and legs all around me, like
What?
some kind
Grebble.
of big
Buy
hug
me dinner first.
from behind.
Oh, from behind. Okay, cool.
To just kind of like
yeah, that makes it.
steady me in place.
All right.
Yeah.
You see me shaking.
You notice Grebble is shaking. Grebble is sweating, and you hope that just your presence next
No,
to him
my
will be
presence
enough.
is not enough. I'm gonna wrap my large, muscular arms around Grebble.
Yes. And with the
yeah,
other
very
hand,
sensitive
your
thing.
hand is holding the prism up in
Oh,
the air
shit,
in the
that's-
point that he told you, and then your other arm around him, grabbing him and holding him in place. You need to reach a little bit over because it's not exactly the same point where you need to like reach and just like wrap your
Reach
arm
around,
around
yeah.
and reach
Yeah.
around.
Achlys, reach around.
Give Grebble
Reach around,
a
Achlys.
good reach around. You feel it coursing through you as well. As soon as you hold him, the
yeah.
magical power coming from the city and being channeled up through the observatory, through the palace
Still
into the
thinking about
observatory,
Drillium?
is overwhelming. Roll Constitution, please.
Okay. Constitution. Yeah.
Yeah, you shake. All your muscles are gonna hurt from this. Just trying to stand upright and keep Grebble and the prism in one place in the air. And you, the power courses up through the floor into the prism, and then is divided into 6 beams of light that hit the 6 prisms around you. You are momentarily blinded by this light, both of you. Grebble, you finish the casting of this spell, and you realize that you can just do whatever you want. Just point your finger, just shape with your breath and your hands as you usually do, and whatever you choose will happen. This power that is... Well, you know what? That description is going to come later. Right now, you just have this power, and you can do what you want with it. Spend... you are going to pay some hit points for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's combine the hit point cost of several of your spells.
Okay.
Yeah, the sticky bubble, the lighten.
Well, not the lightning. I'm not using lightning.
Lighten
Oh,
objects.
lighten. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning.
5, 8, 13, and have I missed something?
Oh yeah, chat is right. Does Grebble do we roll the reagent?
No,
Yeah,
no
it's
need.
me. Yeah, it's mostly the reagent that should be fueling this, not my own hit points. But
That's true, but you're still losing the hit points for this.
okay, 5, 8, 13. I think 13. Which is
13.
almost all of my hit points. I'm on 15.
Alright, so spend 13 hit points. This spell doesn't really cost 13 hit points, it costs several times that, but the reagent fuels all the rest. The 13 hit points is the stress on your body from casting this massive spell. And yeah, the red comet against the night sky is quite clear. It gets bigger and bigger. Now the movement is noticeable because it's so close. It's maybe a kilometer away from you, hurtling down across the sky, already passing the borders of the city, above the heads of the citizens and people down in the street, looking up at this comet streaking in the sky above them towards the palace. They see it and it's what happens too quickly for them to even understand that it's something scary, weird. It's just something that they don't understand, something they've never seen before, happening right above their heads. When this huge burning comet with a long red tail suddenly gets swept up and just shoots up like a pinball up into the sky and almost completely disappears, becomes again a red star up in the sky. Your bubble is encasing it completely. Even the burning the burning torch of flames, which is this comet's tail, is not enough to pierce the bubble that you cast. So yeah, it's up there and it's floating up. You're still in touch with it. You can control the spell. It's yours, and you know that it's up there. It's several hundred meters up, then a kilometer, then a kilometer and a half. It's just going up and up into the sky.
Woo! Yeah, I don't think I want to bring it back down to Earth, even though I'm in touch with it and could move it. I think I want it to like head off into the atmosphere.
Yeah, throw it away.
All right. It's lighter than air, and it has all the inertia that it had flying towards you. It just diverted, just up into the air, and it's flying almost as fast as it was when it was aimed right at you, flying up, and again becomes a red star that shimmers a little bit. Maybe in a few minutes, maybe it'll disappear, maybe not. We'll see what happens. The light goes out. The reagent turns off again. You're
I
sure.
collapse into Achlys's arms.
Haha. Achlys, the prism.
I hold him.
The prism is burning hot. You have to let it go because you're wearing metal armor.
Fine. Can I try to like put it down gently?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do that.
Can you put me down gently?
It's okay. I can carry you.
You definitely can.
Okay, how are you carrying me? This is important for the fans to know.
Oh, like bridal style.
Oh, cool. So, arms like this, and I'm... Perfect. My head is lolled back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can
I'm
I
even
find,
gonna have my hand like this. That's more fun.
Yeah. Can I? Is there like a chair, a sofa, something?
Yeah, there's a chair near one of the desks, and there's a little sofa next to the wall.
So I'm gonna put Grebble on the sofa.
All right.
And then slap him awake.
with a gauntlet on.
Okay, maybe not
I've only
slap.
got 2 hit points left. Too hard.
Gently shake.
All right.
But, it works, right? It's not coming back.
I don't think it is.
Oh my goodness. Why didn't you mention the poem earlier?
Oh, I forgot about it in all the stress of the chaos.
We could have read that poem the minute the poet gave it to us and we wouldn't have had this fuss.
Grebble, you're the one who carried the poem. Why didn't you read it if it's so important?
He just said it was dangerous. I don't know. I forgot as well. I'm just. Oh, we almost
Calm
died.
down. Calm down. We're all right now.
Okay.
Everything is good. Everything
Look,
is calm.
Can I ask, how does it feel to have the chaosometer suddenly on 1?
Oh yeah.
It's a monotonous drone instead of this roar of chaos. It's like having this weight around you, and it's like a comforting blanket that feels heavy and constricting, but at the same time protective. And
would it now be really hard to do anything chaotic?
Yes, it would be much harder
Way. Okay.
to do anything chaotic. Like
Challenge accepted.
using.
I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do something chaotic.
For you, Achlys, it actually kind of brings back memories from childhood when you hung out in the family crypt. You know, the protective places where you went to play with your four forebears in the crypt. You went to.
Wait, Achlys has 4 bears?
4 bears in the crypt. Yes.
Yeah, they're part of the family. Didn't I send you the family tree? The bears were in it.
I didn't know there were bears in your family.
Some people ran away to the circus and they came back and they brought bears with them.
The most orderly bears there ever were.
Yeah, and that's the feeling you have, Achlys. It is you're feeling the constricting order around you, but you're not bothered by it. For you, it's like being in a familiar and comfortable place.
I feel like I'm home.
Yeah.
This is nice.
This is kind of boring. We should probably go find Triss.
Right. But maybe we can't because the player's not here. Itama, can we go and find Triss?
Well, go and find Triss is a big phrase. Walk out of the room, walk down the stairs, and start looking for them. It's definitely something you can do.
Yeah.
When I leave the room, I want to leave the door open, but I physically can't.
Oh.
I physically can't. I have to close the door behind me.
I mean, it's the polite thing to do, Grebble.
Makes sense.
Just leave the door as it was when you found it. If it was open, you leave it open. If it's closed, you leave it closed. That's just basic manners.
I'm straightening my cravat.
Good.
There's somebody walking up the stairs, the spiral staircase going up to the top floor, the entrance to the observatory, and after a few seconds, you see Will Arthur walk up quite hastily with his slippers sliding on the stone stairs. He stops, he sees the two of you, and his eyes go wide, and he says, What are
Will
you?
Arthur, my good man, how good to see you again. Have you seen Chesterling by any chance?
No, I thought I'm looking for him.
Oh, great. Let us
As are we.
look for him together.
No. You tell me what is going on. If he's not here, then who did that?
Who did what?
Yes, please be clear and. Yes, please be clear and precise.
A magical spell?
Oh, well, it was both of us, but most correctly me.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think it's fair that you take most of the credit, Grebble. I don't know much about magic.
And you're very welcome. I did indeed, once again, save Emag from disaster. This time, a comet from the sky.
His beard bristles as you say that, like physically puffing up in anger as his cheeks get red and his eyes.
Is something bothering you, Will Arthur?
You are bothering me. Walking here without Chesterling. This is who even allowed you to come up here?
Oh, Chesterling did, but then he ran to some other place.
No.
He invited us here. He brought us up to the observatory, and then he left us there.
I find that hard to believe. He trusted you? Trusted you to be here alone?
Well, clearly. You know, So, Grebble is trying to say rude things. Just because
But
Grebble
can't!
feels so many rude feelings about Will Arthur's crappy fashion choices, and he wants to say shit about how terrible Will Arthur is at spells, and he wants to gloat. But something is restraining him: politeness, respectability. So instead, he just says, "It's great to see you."
There's some sound, like little pops start. You can hear little pops starting, and then after a few seconds, you can see that there's tiny little lightnings going off in his beard, like it's a big cloud, storm cloud.
I love that.
And echoing from the stone walls. He still is standing in the stairway and saying, "No, I will not let you through until you tell me what you did. You've used the magic in this place in a way that nobody is allowed to, not even I."
It's a lovely day, isn't it? Was that your work as a meteorologist?
A lovely, lovely day? No, I haven't messed with the weather today. It was fine to begin with.
Ah, well, a modest man, an honest man. I respect that.
You're trying to avoid answering my question.
What is your question, Will Arthur?
What did you do with the magic in the observatory?
Perhaps we could all...
As stated, we saved the city from certain demise, and I do feel like you ought to be more grateful for that.
I'll be the judge of that. Me and perhaps Chesterling or the Queen herself. You give me the details.
Well, maybe we should go find Chesterling and give him the details together.
Find Chesterling and give him the details. All right. I see that you are adamant.
Well, you're welcome to go into the observatory if you wish and survey our handiwork.
I'm not leaving you alone for 1 second.
I feared that. So shall we seek our host?
Okay. Let's do that.
I would like to roll. Again, I'm asking this way. I would like to roll to see if I can make a remark on his slippers.
It's again one of these rolls that you choose to do. You can decide. I recommend a wisdom roll. That's like willpower or charisma to say something.
Charisma to try not to not to say something rude about his slippers. I succeed.
All right. Cool. He turns around and he starts walking down. What?
I wanted to say, as we're walking with him, can I sort of sidle up to Grebble and talk to him like quietly, without necessarily Will Arthur hearing us?
He's not gonna like it. He's gonna try to understand. He's gonna try to listen in.
All right, he can try.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, while we're walking, go next to Grebble and say, Grebble, I want to commend you for your restraint. Speaking with Will Arthur, I know you have feelings regarding that man, but I thought you controlled yourself splendidly.
It's not entirely by choice.
Well, whatever it is, I applaud it, and you ought to continue doing that.
Okay, well, actually, it's best for the plan too, so I'm happy to continue to contain myself.
Wonderful.
So the stairs lead you back down to the entrance to the throne room. You go down the wide carpeted stairs back into the palace. In the hallway that's 2 floors underneath the throne room, which, well, Arthur, again, he leads you, but he makes sure that you're right behind him.
Can I clarify something that has confused me?
Yes.
Before this all happened with the Chaos and when it went to 13, we could sense that Dave the Chaos Knight was coming.
Yes.
Now it's at 1, and we haven't mentioned Dave since. My question is, was he inside the Comet? Did I just send Dave to space?
Well, your consciousness gets sent again to feel around this bubble which is yours. You half remember, half feel right now where it is and what it's doing. And yeah, it's Dave. It was Dave. You trapped him in a sticky bubble and sent him up into this black, empty sky.
I love it.
Okay. Was it literally just Dave, or was it Dave on a rock?
It was.
You know.
It was Dave, also a burning rock.
Also a burning rock. Okay. So now it's a bit like I forget, King Kai in Dragon Ball Z. He's just on this tiny little planet in space with a little air pocket from my bubble.
Yeah, I don't know. He's somewhere very far away.
Oh goodness. Okay, that'll be interesting.
He's probably really mad.
Probably.
But the Chaos Samurai being on 1, he has no power over you where you are right now.
Okay.
Thank
you for clarifying.
You go down towards his study, but in about the middle of the way, in one of the hallways back inside the palace proper, Arthur meets a little sheeple servant that stops him on his way and tugs on his robe sleeve, his embroidered robe sleeve, asking him for his attention for a second, and then telling him that he wants to talk to you. And Will Arthur brushes her away, feeling like pretty rudely, saying, "No, just don't. I'll come later." He needs to learn to wait, and he keeps leading you towards Chesterling's room.
Interesting.
But Chesterling is waiting outside of the room. The door is open to the study, and Chesterling is standing in the hallway. As soon as he sees you, he rushes at you, and he says, What is this? Somebody explain to me."
Hello again.
Yes.
As soon as you left,
Yes.
Chaos reached a particularly powerful level. In fact, maybe even seconds before you left, and we had to do the ritual without you. It would have been much easier if you hadn't gone anywhere.
Well, I went because someone was in here, and somebody was stealing from my study.
Oh, that sounds very distressing.
Very distressing. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No,
About someone
were very
stealing
busy.
from your study.
We were very busy saving Emag from Chaos.
Busy leading me on a merry chase. That's what you mean, maybe, right? Busy leading me up, talking to me about magic cauldrons and wanting to brand yourself and be heroes of the city.
Oh, we left the cauldron up there. You can.
Oh, that's true. Perhaps.
Forget that cauldron. Absolutely forget it. This is not what we're talking about. We are talking about the fact that somebody was here with their grubby mitts all over my things, on my desk, ruffling through my stuff and taking something very personal.
We were with you until you left to go and find out what was causing it.
Well, you must have had another friend with you. someone else, a fifth quester that I haven't met yet.
Dirt has left, and to be honest, he was never a very sneaky person in the first place.
And what about the Trisisters? What about them, huh? Where are they right now?
They've been right here this whole time.
Where?
I pointed Lohi.
No, Lohi left. Lohi left before the end of the previous episode.
So Lohi went back towards this room, though.
Yes.
Is Lohi not around?
Nope.
Well, you were with us. We were with Triss. I sent Triss out the door because they were too chaotic for the spell.
Exactly, too chaotic. Yes, I should never have trusted them. Such a small, unpredictable creature.
That's our friend.
Well,
you're being very rude and very mean. And honestly, if you're going to start accusing Triss of stealing things, then I'd like to see some evidence.
Evidence, huh?
Honestly, I don't think Triss could have got all the way back to this room in time for your little runaway chase thing while we were saving the city.
Saving the city? What is all this about? And Will Arthur takes this opportunity to raise his hand and say, "Sir, they cast he cast a spell, some sort of mighty spell in your observatory. He used it to cast a spell." You what? What exactly did you do? Tell me.
Well, like I said, the chaos got too big. It started roaring all around us, and this comet was coming straight towards us. So we finished setting up your ritual. I cast a spell to send the comet up into the sky.
Huh.
It was actually really hard work. I'm feeling kind of dizzy still, and I've still got spots in front of my eyes. And I was kind of hoping to get praised instead of accused and shouted at.
Come. Let us sit you down. No need for you, Will Arthur. And Will Arthur, surprised at being turned away, is looking for something to say, but then just humps and walks away. Come in, Achlys. Help your friend, please.
Right.
Go into the room.
What do I do?
I mean, I'm physically capable of walking at this point. So.
I carry him.
Over the threshold into the study?
Achlys, I can walk. It's okay.
While you're being carried. I can walk.
You seem very weak.
I am quite weak, but still.
He walks in. He walks still steps over the chalk diagram on the floor that he had before, and is looking at you, like at your feet, trying to see if you remember to not mess the chalk lines on the floor. And he motions towards a chair next to the big writing desk.
I put Grebble in the chair.
So you see, just from being in the room, you see the mess. It's a little bit more messy than it was when you were there. There's some papers that are all over the floor, a couple of smudges on the chalk, and somebody for some reason swept up a bunch of dust and dirt and random corners of the room and just left them in a pile on one side. And the window has smears of soap quickly drying, just leaving water and soap marks dry on the glass.
I'm gonna kind of lie back on the sofa, but with my head upside down. I'm looking around to see if I can find Triss.
Okay. He's standing. Oops! Whoa! My God! This cat. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. Look how feisty he is. God, he caused a big mess just now. All right. No. The cat is not more interesting than the game. The Chesterling is standing in the middle of the room. He looks even thinner and shorter than he usually does. His head is hung low, his chin is on his chest, and he's not really meeting your eyes. It's not easy being number 2 of this large kingdom, you know? Sometimes it feels like I'm the one at the top. I have all the responsibility.
Yes, that does seem incredibly difficult.
Doesn't
Yes.
the Queen do anything?
Oh, yes. All kinds of important tasks, but, being nobility is, sometimes easy. You, are expected to just be there. Just be there, barely make any decisions. In fact, you hire other minds to make decisions for you. And he gestures at himself. Yes, the pay is good. The resources are vast. But I feel like I'm worn out. Yes, Grebble.
Yes. I'd like to try it. It's almost like it's a new ability, and I would like to call it Noble Sense.
Okay.
I want to see if I can tell if Chesterling was raised as a noble,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
or
I
if
like that.
he's got here all the way up. And I have had some interactions with nobility in the past, so I don't think I'd be that bad at it.
Okay.
Because of mysterious backstory I never get around to explaining.
has been raised as nobility. How would you know exactly?
By, well, actually, he's really shabbily dressed right now, isn't he? He's in a robe and all sorts.
I mean,
But I think he'd
yeah.
still sort of carry himself, like his
Mm-hmm.
the
And his
way
accent.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and his accent.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll your wisdom to figure
Oh yeah,
that out.
my wisdom is massively lowered from something. Oh, I failed.
Yep. So, looking at him, trying to figure out, instead of figuring that out, you notice something completely different, which is that you unwittingly created a big smudge on the chalk on the floor while they put you in the chair, and you kind of straightened yourself out a little bit, like you kind of ruined a little patch of the diagram.
Oh.
Huh. So, yes, the perks are significant, but the work, the long hours, it's not easy.
Perhaps we should get back to the matter at hand instead
Which
of,
one? Which one? So many
sharing
things to take care of. So many
Right,
things. He gestures at the diagram on the floor around him. I'm trying to figure out a great danger out of the city, but nothing.
What does the diagram do when it's done?
It foretells movement of heavenly bodies.
Oh,
Yes. What about you? You also mentioned saving the city, saving Emag. What did you do?
are there any windows in this room?
Yes, there is a window.
Okay, so I say, oh, haven't you noticed the huge comet that was hurtling toward us?
I was distracted by things going on in this room.
Right, so there was this huge comet hurtling towards the city, and, well, I'd like to say we, but honestly, Grebble
You
should
definitely
take all
helped.
of the credit because I know nothing about magic. But Grebble saved us with magic.
Well, also, I would say probably you, Chesterling, saved us, because if you hadn't, set up that room with the design to use the castle and even like bits of Emag as a reagent, there wouldn't have been the energy.
Well, you no need to say that out loud. Not here.
Oh, there's no one here but the three of us.
Yes, the walls have eyes.
Oh God.
Do they? I look around. Do I see eyes in the walls?
Well, no.
While I'm looking around, this is another opportunity to look for Triss.
Yeah, it's nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. Around here? Oh, yeah, there are about 5 or 6 secret doors in this room alone. In this
What about-
castle,
Really?
What about
Can I
you?
try and find them? Like by looking?
just by yourself.
Yeah, I just want to look around and see if like I can spot the secret doors because I'm
Mhm.
curious.
Roll wisdom.
I
Okay.
imagine there were a lot of secret doors in the Darkmoor estate.
Yeah. Ah, fudge.
I was gonna try and push for advantage, but never mind.
Never mind.
You wouldn't have gotten it
I
anyway.
never would have guessed. This is very impressive, Chesterling.
So you were asking what happened. Well, this comet-like thing was coming towards us,
Mm-hmm.
and we set up the rest of the crystals, and I channeled using all the chaos in the room and all the chaos in the city into the reagent, and I launched the comet into the sky.
What was this comet?
Well, I believe it was a chaos knight, but that's just sort of a feeling I have. Can't really prove it.
Oh, well. Somehow.
I mean, I realized that afterwards. At the time, I'm not sure I would have sent a chaos knight into space.
What you're describing
Yeah,
is
he's
so.
probably going to be very angry.
This is so outlandish, this story, that I wouldn't have believed any of it if I hadn't felt something different about you now. You feel less worrying. You feel more safe. So, yes, I'm going to believe you. And I will have you know that using this, and he walks a little bit more towards you and lowers his voice. Using this reagent is not something to be done lightly. You know what powers it?
I
The
think,
city?
and chaos.
Not chaos, no. The movement of people through EMAG.
Oh,
Really?
What you did was using that activity, those lives, those people who are there.
this is my Chesterling. Mm, he's a little Chester.
Casting a spell through the observatory, actually using it in order to cast a spell, means using EMAG, depleting it of some of its livelihood, of its energy.
Oh, are the people okay?
Well, they will be eventually. Yes.
Oh God.
This is very carefully constructed, this observatory, the palace in general, in fact. It is constructed in a way so that nobody dies, nobody gets seriously sick.
Oh, I lie back down on the sofa again.
Well, it's more
I
of a...
keep my arms together this
It's
time.
it's more of a padded chair than
Okay.
a sofa, so you can lean back a little bit. Okay. Let's make order. Let's make order of this very chaotic day.
What was stolen from you?
Some. It's a personal thing. Never mind.
Oh, but if you tell us, perhaps we can assist you with finding it.
Never mind. It is personal. Are we okay? No more questions about the thing that was stolen?
Right.
Right?
Thank you.
Of course.
All right. This morning, actually recently, a few days ago, some figures arrive from the dimension of chaos, or through the dimension of chaos, who look very much like you, other versions of you, claiming they are you from the future. They cause some mayhem around the city, then leave, taking the poet, my old acquaintance, with them. You arrive, you destroy them, and release the poet. After which we meet, we talk about your prospects in EMAG, which seem to be promising, and we go back into the city. Later, you come over and wish to discuss these opportunities.
Right.
While this happens, a Chaos Knight finds an opportunity to strike at the palace, something that any of the Chaos Knights in the world, not many of them around, I know that any of them would love to have an opportunity to do. But they cannot. The palace is protected, not just by walls, but by other means as well.
Such as?
Well, magic, divinations that I have cast in order to forecast this kind of thing. These divinations don't work only if chaos has a breach, a way inside the palace. And even though, and he starts walking, pacing back to his old energy, even though it seems like you were the source of all this chaos, you somehow always seem to be also the solution. It seems to me like you are the key to what is happening. Both the chaos and the order.
Right. Yeah, that does sound kind of right. I mean, we are both. Sometimes we're chaotic and sometimes we're orderly.
Well, I try to be very orderly, but I am somewhat limited by my colleagues. Not you, Grebble.
That's a very specific passive-aggressive statement, I think.
All right. Then, in that case, thank you. Thank you for being an opportunity for me, as much as I can be one for you.
I'm confused. What is going to happen now?
Well, I will need to use some of the means at my disposal to realize what exactly happened around you. What are the strands of chaos and order surrounding you? Where they come from and why are they so concentrated?
It's a mystery to me. I don't know why, but I agree with you. Sometimes we do things, and the world becomes more chaotic around us. But you know, we're just ordinary people, so why would it be different for us?
No. None of that talk. You're not ordinary people at all. You are destined for...
But does this mean that every hero in the world can cause this level of chaos?
Huh.
That seems dangerous.
Or is it something that just happened around us?
Interesting that you mentioned that. There is a legend of a precedent to this. However, it is a story, a fanciful story that I do not know if to believe, even though it is part of my knowledge, my studies. I have studied this. Don't tell Will Arthur, but I find this story very fanciful. For him, it is a family secret.
Oh.
What's the secret?
There used to be a group of people who were I think they would answer the definition of what you just named heroes. They went out into the most dangerous places, carried out the most dangerous tasks, and they shaped the world. They shaped the world in their image. The only one we know actually existed in this group is one of Will Arthur's forefathers.
Really?
Yes.
I never would have guessed.
Will Arthur comes from a long line of very capable wizards.
Really? I never would have guessed.
What? He's very powerful and He knows he's a great asset to the kingdom.
Really? Well, you know.
I feel there is a sense of sarcasm in your voice, a little hint that I'm sensing. Honestly, I don't understand why. Will Arthur is just as capable as the wizards who came before him, and one of them was one of these mighty figures of history. And if to believe the story, the world was not the same after they retired as it was before.
What? Do we know Will Arthur's antecedent's name?
I will have to check the records. I do not remember it. But it's not hard to find. He comes from a distinguished family of sorts, and the family history, the family tree is going to be in some book in some library.
Is this why he wears such strange clothes? Because it was the fashion of his great ancestors.
Yes, indeed. It's part of his family insignia as wizards. That's what wizards used to wear a couple of generations back, and he carries that tradition.
Right. That does actually explain quite a lot. Whew.
Well,
Wizards don't wear that kind of stuff anymore, I can tell you.
Ah, I see. So it is a rivalry.
Oh, maybe. I mean...
Isn't it? Well, maybe you will find yourself a court wizard one day. Of course. Well, if you do, you will have Will Arthur as a boss, so maybe you don't wish for that to happen. Okay. So, back to business. We need to figure out what is going on. Luckily, I don't especially need your active help in doing that. I can just do this myself. I have the remains of your enemies from this morning right here in this drawer, and he points to one side of the desk. I will use these remains in order to perform a divination magic. As I told you, young Grumble, it is a little bit dangerous to do so, and for that matter, I prefer to be alone while that happens.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
How about we meet here tomorrow and I will tell you what my findings were?
That's a wonderful idea. I think,
Well-
Rebel, perhaps we should take our leave and...
Yep. We will most likely be here tomorrow unless something weird happens again.
All right.
You know how it is? Okay, so we looked around the room. We didn't see Triss. But we do know that it was a drawer that was in this room. There's no way we're getting past him to get dust out of that drawer now.
No.
He specifically pointed it out to us, so if we took it now, he'd know it was us. So basically operating on a hope that Triss has done their job and leaving.
Yep.
All right. When you stand up and start walking towards the door, he says, "Oh, you smudged the diagram."
Oh, I'm so
No,
sorry.
we're so sorry.
Could I help fix it, maybe? Somehow.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, I was very weak. I wasn't really. I was trying not to, but I just sort of my foot sort of smushed it.
He looks at the diagram. You look at the point that you smudged a little bit. The stain, the smudge is bigger than what it was before. And this you didn't cause. It is spreading around the diagram.
Oh no.
The smudge is spreading, so it's
Yes.
like it's chalk. It's spreading chalk.
From being a well-defined chalk line, more and more of the diagram is slowly becoming like just a smudge.
That's bad.
What do we
Is
do?
that normal?
Not normal, no. In fact, it is indicative.
Of.
Of something. I will let you know tomorrow. Well, off you go.
Right.
Okay.
What time should we be here?
Whenever you want, after breakfast.
Right.
All right, goodbye,
Different
goodbye.
People eat breakfast at different times.
Yes, whenever you eat breakfast. Yes, of course, after 9, 10 and 30, half past. Yes, good night.
Good night.
And he shoves us out the door and closes the door behind us.
Pretty much, he's physically incapable of doing that, but that's what he's trying to do.
Okay. Right. Achlys, I reckon we go down to the stable before Will Arthur reappears.
Right. And okay, let's do that.
Yep. And I sort of make eyes in saying, let's not talk anymore outside this door.
Okay.
To the stables!
To the stables. You go back the way, pretty much the way you came here originally when you just started your plan. It's completely dark still, but the interior is well lit. There's still servants who are up at all times, going here and there and making sure there's lanterns inside and outside. There's these courtyards with which are also like well lit. You go through the marble halls, walking towards where the stable is, but you're still in the palace, the old palace, the palace proper, when you hear a scream, a great big crash, metallic crash, many objects flying and clattering, and then a figure appearing from a corner and rushing at you. It is the small sheeple servant girl that you saw before, and she's yelling, "Help! Help!" And this is going to be
I
the
draw
end.
my sword.
This is going to be the end of today's session.
We didn't find Triss, we didn't find Lohi, we didn't even get back to Marigold.
We
We're
will
so dumb.
get back to this scene next week. Next week we will start with Triss. Like the first half hour or so is going to be Triss's adventures somewhere else. We'll see what happened with them while all this mess was happening upstairs and down in the study. And after about 30 or 40 minutes, we will get back to like the full party rejoined, and we'll see what happens next.
I mean, you say that now. Maybe it'll end up being a whole hour and a half of Triss.
Maybe it'll end up being 5
Maybe
weeks
we'll
more
all
of
die.
the party being apart. Yes, we'll see.
We're never gonna get this one little point we need to level up.
We
Still waiting.
are never, ever
I mean,
getting
we
back together.
we did get rid of the Chaos Knight, but I'm presuming that doesn't count as a goal because it wasn't a
How
plan.
did you do that?
You actually did already fulfill the plan, but it's not the end of the adventure yet, so
Right. Okay. At the end of the adventure, we can get some some goal points.
definitely. All right. Yeah, so that's it for today. Join us next week to go a little bit back in time and see Triss's adventures somewhere else in the palace, in the pocket of
Timothy Guardsman.
yes, exactly, Timothy Guardsman. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second.
How could you?
That's right. Yeah, and
his love letter.
and his love letter. Yes, and Lohi, wherever Lohi is. And
Oh,
then,
God.
and then the continuation of the party's adventures in the palace.
And maybe just like a separate video, just recording of you describing 3 hours of Marigold's life while we do all this stuff.
This
What does Marigold
is
do for 3 hours?
the best idea. In fact, why
The
not a
fans
recording
demand to know.
of the many days you were away in other adventures?
Oh, yeah.
Marigold's adventures.
Yeah. Has she leveled up?
Yeah, totally. She should totally get new abilities.
Fans, write in with ideas about what Marigold's new abilities could be.
Please do. That's perfect. Let's do it. All right. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Remember, the Figment Folio is out. You can go to our website, figmentrp.com, and download it right now. Next week, there's going to be even more new stuff. And on Saturdays, as usual, 9 p.m., Israel time. We talk roleplay, do roleplay, write roleplay stuff on Mondays. As always, Questers of Yalpelor. Until the next time we see each other, play hard and stay safe. And good night, everyone. Bye-bye.